Hello there. Hope everyone's having a great day. Appreciate you being here early, Carol. Apologies, it's a bit late. I had a few things to sort out. I've been getting very carried away with sorting my Yu-Gi-Oh cards out, to be fair. Thousands upon thousands of cards to go through, and making great progress and very much enjoying it. Watching some anime and watching some of the TV shows while I go through them. So it will definitely help for future videos and to show off the collection at some point. Now, as you can probably see by the title, I didn't exactly hide it this time. I managed to grab a few starter decks. In particular, starter deck Joey and Pegasus. But before we get to that, I do want to show off just one thing that arrived. I was able to get my Baron de Fleur, which was the last individual card that I needed from the Synchro Storm set that I done a video on a while back. It was 3 booster boxes of it. It was I couldn't believe I didn't pull this. Honestly, it didn't really cost me that much to get it. There is one more rarity of a card I've already got and need for that set, but this was the last original card that I needed, so we'll take great pleasure in sleeving this bad boy up in my double sleeve. I don't believe I've got enough left for this rest of this video. It is a very clean first edition. Also a pretty good card, to be fair, as well. Very nice. Exactly. I mean, to be fair, I'll eventually get the last rarity, the ghost rare that I needed of the other card, but what I'll do for now is I'll try and not do this clunkily. So I will bring over the folder and happily put it in here, even though I think the light is directly shining on this space. It is indeed. That's unfortunate, but still very nice. And to be fair, I'll actually go and get the other page. Yeah, that space just there. That's the is it Ghost Rare? I can't remember. The Ghost Rare of the Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. That's the last card I need to fill that up. So probably will get it at some point. Don't imagine it'll be difficult. Oh, that's not smart. So let's get on the meat and potatoes of this. So not only do we have starter deck Joey, we have starter deck Pegasus, and I'm very excited to go over these decks. I've never actually owned them in full anyway. I've only ever owned parts of them. Now they were released back in March 2003, I believe, which is a year later than the American release of starter deck Yugi and Kaiba. So very excited to get these, both in first edition. While the boxes look damaged, I think the cards themselves are sealed, so that'll be somewhat exciting. But I've also got, and I will not open this up on the stream, as I've got an unlimited version of the deck as well. So I do have some of the cards in unlimited format for both decks, but I've not got full. I just happened to pick this up at a really good price. Considering it's unlimited, this is not expensive to get. So I won't open this version of the deck, I'll just more add it to my collection. So I think I will start off with, well, first I'll actually explain the story behind these two. So the reason these two mean a lot to me in general is because when I was very young, myself and me and my brother went on a holiday, I think it was my dad, and went to Spain, and we actually picked up 2 fake decks two versions of these that were completely fake, and obviously we didn't know much better at the time. We had a suspicion that were fake, but we didn't really know. And we played quite a few games with those decks. It was great fun, even though knowingly they looked like crap, they looked terrible, but it was still good fun. But ever since then, I never actually owned these two decks. They were the two first decks that we ever played with. I think when we got back, we got starter deck, Aiba, and Yugi Evolution. But these were the first two that we properly played with. So I think I will start off with my personal favorite, which is starter deck Pegasus, which has one of my favorite cards, Relinquished, in the middle just there. Look at the back. I think it's just the same text as last time. Fake, but still the exact same. No, you could definitely tell they were fake. 100% you could tell they were fake. But it was still cool to play with them. Just the text was different, the holo was different, you know, the cards were darker. Let's have a look at this bad boy. There he is, my guy, first edition. We got the rule book. Still got Joey on it. Another field. And it is sealed. It is unplayed. It is sealed. That is pretty wild. I did not expect that. First edition sealed. That's really cool. I do want to just take a minute to appreciate Relinquished. So this card is never actually sealed. Once the deck has been opened, this card is not officially sealed anymore. But I'm not gonna lie, it's in great condition. To be honest, maybe a few scuffs in the back, but I'm really chuffed to get this in first edition. I could barely mind the ability, the effect that Relinquished had. I think it was to do with like equipping itself to another monster. Love the card, but I've no idea what it does. Look at it, beautiful, beautiful card. And let's do it, let's open up this bad boy. Now, I want to do this carefully, I don't want to... I mean, there's always a chance this was resealed, but it looks too neat. It looks too neat to be resealed. Ah. These are crisp. I always love the new card smell as well. Still here. Red Archery Girl. Has a toon equivalent. A mermaid archer that hides in a protective shell waiting for the right moment to strike. Pretty average 4-star by this point, but still. Rayman. Also the toon equivalent. I think most cards in this deck actually have a toon equivalent. The play-in with Toon World, I believe, is here. A vicious little dragon sheltered in an egg that looks deceptively harmless. Let's put the emojis here. Illusionist Faceless Mage. This card gave me a lot of problems in Forbidden Memories with its large defense stat for a Pegasus. We have a wall to get past. Manipulate enemy attacks with the power of illusions. How do you, Neo Grover? We're covering one of your first ever decks, believe it or not. Well, this one's mine, but... Rogue Doll, a great 4-star attacker. It was actually quite relevant in the OCG, where it was outclassed by the ever-increasing strength of 4-star monsters. To be fair, she probably really had the ability of it. You know, it's tech, sorry. A deadly doll gifted with mystical power. It is particularly powerful when attacking against dark forces. Damn, these are really clean. Almost feel bad opening this up. One of my favorite dinosaur cards. Loved this when I was younger. I think it's Urabi. I've never actually known how to pronounce it. A great little beat stick. 1500. Equip it with raised body heat. Does the job. Keep putting this down without reading it. Fast on its feet, this dinosaur rips enemies to shreds with its sharp claws. Again, one of my favourites. Giant Soldier of Stone, Aquamador's replacement. A giant warrior made of stone. A punch from this creature has earth-shaking results. 3 stars, you know, pretty good for its time. Not a better attack than Aquamador, which was at the time back in the OCG. One of the, you know, back in Series 1, I believe, was a wall that you really struggled to get past. But 3 stars, you know, no tribute needed, not bad. Speaking of the devil, and here he is, Aquamador himself. 100 less attack points. A wizard of the waters that conjures a liquid wall to crush any enemies that oppose him. I believe he has a rare equivalent in Legend of Blue Eyes. Toon Alligator. An alligator monster straight from the cartoons. 1600 defense, 800 attack. Hane, our flip effect monster. Flip. Select one monster on the field, monster card in the field, regardless of its position, and return it to its owner's hand. Pretty good card, to be honest, for its time. A lot of the effect monsters back then had very low stats, but pretty good. Pretty good effects. Sonic Bird, Mr. Aura Farmer over here. When this card is summoned, excluding special summon, you may move one ritual magic card from your deck to your hand. The deck is then shuffled. I believe this was also in Starter Deck Yu-Gi. Jigan Bakudan. Pyro Effect. It's a flip monster. After this card is flipped, offer it as a tribute during your standby phase to destroy all monsters on your side of the field and inflict direct damage equal to half of the total attack of the destroyed card, excluding this monster, to your opponent's life points. Massive Darkness. I like this card's simple design. Flip, select one trap card from your graveyard and return it to your hand. Very simple. This card was used in I think with a few other cards like Mass Sorcerer and Forbidden Memories to summon, was it Constructive Mask? Was that the name of it? Or Mask of Shine and Dark, which was never actually released in the OCG or TCG. Witch of the Black Forest, a great card. A nice Searcher card. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, move one monster with a defense of 1500 or less from your deck to your hand. Your deck is then shuffled. Man-Eater Bug, the great flip monster. Destroys one monster on the field, regardless of its position. Muka Muka. He's I have seen his variant, his mono variant, which is Enraged Muka Muka. Increase the attack and defense of this card by 300 points for every card in your hand. These are really good. Sealed as well, and their alignment is pretty good. I can't see much alignment issues with it. To be fair, I do feel my camera's maybe a bit off today with what's showing. Saying that, there is a few nicks on the side of it, but still. Card prints back then were not consistent. I'm just happy that most of it is aligned. Although the left border is slightly off, but you know what? Could be worse. When this card is changed from attack position to defense position, select and destroy one monster on your opponent's side of the field. Armed Ninja. Flip monster. Destroys one magic card on the field. For the record, flip means from defense, face down defense to face up attack. If this card's target is face down, flip it face up. If the card is a magic card, it is destroyed. Well, spell card. If not, it is returned to its face down position. The flipped card is not activated. Hyro's Shadow Scanner. I used to always find this card funny back in the day. I can't remember if he's got a mustache or not. Like, is that a mustache this time? Not too sure. Flip. Your monster drawer, your opponent draws 3 cards. Both players check the cards, and any magic cards among them must be immediately discarded to the graveyard. Oh yeah. You know what? I have this card in unlimited print but in absolutely terrible condition. It's actually shameful how bad it looks. Dragon Toon, and this is where Toon monsters were terrible. I'm sorry, they just were back then. You had to pay to summon them. You knew Toon World, but you had to pay to summon Toon World. But they look cool. Let's see if we can read it. This card cannot be summoned unless Toon World is on the field. This card cannot attack in the same turn that is summoned. Pay 500 life points each time this monster attacks. When Toon World is destroyed, this card is also destroyed. If your opponent doesn't control a Toon monster on the field, this card may inflict direct damage to your opponent's life points. Okay, that's actually probably the best part of it. If a Toon monster is on your opponent's side of the field, your attack must target the Toon monster. You've got one line of that is actually decent, the rest is garbage. But still. Toon Summon Skull. Another absolute nightmare of an effect. It is going to have the same effect of Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, so I'm not going to go read it out. My boy Manga Rayuran. Now he has got a rare variant, silver text. I can't remember if is it Spell Ruler or Metal Raiders. Not 100%. There we go, there's Red Archery Girl's equivalent Toon Mermaid. He got scuffs on it, but nothing terrible. Probably the worst card so far. Probably can't see it via the camera, but it does have a few marks. You see where the light is shining on it. And another card that I've got in terrible quality, and really nice to have a better equivalent. Toon World. Continuous magic card. Oh, it's more of a field spell, I suppose, but... This card is activated by paying 1,000 of your life points. Thanks for that. Black Pendant, an equip card. A monster equipped with this card increases attack by 500 points. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, inflict 500 points of direct damage to your opponent's life points. Dark Hole. Destroys all monsters on the field. Diane Kettle, the Cure Master. Increases your life points by 1,000 points. In, well, before the card game was ever even released, Diane Kettle was 5,000 in Dual Monsters 1 on the Game Boy. 5,000 life points, imagine that. Fisher destroys one opponent's face-up monster with the lowest attack. Dispel. Destroys one magic card on the field. If this card's target is face down, flip it face up. If the card is a magic card, it is destroyed. If not, it is returned to its face down position. The flipped card is not activated. This has a variant art called Curse Breaker, which was in Forbidden Memories in the games, but was never released. Change of Heart. Lovely card. Also started at Yugi. Select and control one opposing monster, regardless of position, on the field until the end of your turn. Stop Defense. Select one of your opponent's monsters and switch it to attack position. If the card is face down, flip it face up. If the card has a flip effect, it is activated immediately. Mystical Space Typhoon, let's go. Destroy one magical trap card on the field. Quick play magic card. Rush Recklessly. Another quick play. Increase one monster's attack by 700 points during the turn this card is activated. I think he appears in Starter Deck Kaiba or Kaiba Evolution. As Remove Trap in every single starter deck, I believe, at this point. Destroys one face-up trap card on the field. There we go, Monster Reborn, or Reborn the Monster. Select one monster card from either your opponent's or your own graveyard and place it on the field under your control in attack or defense position face up. This is considered a special summon, so no, you could not use this with Gate Guardian or Perfectly Ultimate if you tried to discard them. But, by goodness me, this could summon a lot of great monsters. Great card. Has different artwork in OCG. Soul Release. Select up to 5 cards from either you or your opponent's graveyard and remove them from the current duel. Also has different artwork, but only from the clothing aspect in the OCG. Yami. Increases the attack and defense of all fiend and spellcaster type monsters by 200 points. Also decreases the attack defense of all fairy type monsters by 200 points. So, yeah, the attack and defense increase of magic cards back then were fairly low. Sorry, field spells. There we go. Black Illusion Ritual. This card is used to reach or summon Relinquish. You must also offer monsters whose total level start equal 1 or more from the field or your hand as tribute. Ring of Magnetism, also Metal Raiders. This card can only be equipped to a monster on your side of the field. This monster equipped with this card decreases its attack defense by 500 points. In addition, all the monsters on your opponent's side of the field must attack the monster equipped with this card if they choose to attack. And I believe this is a holo. Graceful Charity. Great card. Draw 3 cards from your deck and discard any 2 cards from your hand. Great. We're actually gonna save this up. All sticking to me. It is fairly warm right now. It is approaching 25 degrees. Well, I imagine anyone who is from England here is probably going to be melting even worse than I am. A trap hole. If the attack of a monster summoned by your opponent, excluding special summon, is 1,000 points or more, the monster is destroyed. Pops up a lot in these decks. Same with reinforcements. Increase one selected monster's attack points by 500 points. Sorry. Attack by 500 points during the turn this card is activated. Castle Walls. Increase a selected monster defense by 500 points during the turn this card is activated. Damn, the first starter decks really had some really bad trap cards. Thank goodness these got replaced by proper equips later on. Any damage inflicted by an opponent's monster is decreased to 0 during the turn this card is activated. Good old Goku. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Pay 1,000 of your life points to negate the activation of the trap card and destroy it. I think the first 4 starter decks must have shared like every trap card. At the cost of 500 life points per monster, a player is allowed an extra normal summon or set. Different artwork in OCG and a lot of confusion about how this card worked in the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or was it first 2 seasons perhaps? Robin Goblin. Each time one of your monsters inflict damage to your opponent's life points, one card is randomly selected from your opponent's hand and discarded to the graveyard. Magic Jammer. Discard 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to negate the activation of a magic card / spell card and destroy it. Chanted Javelin. When your opponent's monster attacks, increase your life points by the attacking monster's attack points. And the one that's really nostalgic, this card really sticks in with me for some reason. I don't actually have this card. It's the only card from the deck I don't own from another booster or structure deck. Griffin Wing. When your opponent activates Harpy's Feather Duster, all of your opponent's magic and trap cards are destroyed in place of your own. Very nice. This card's not in great quality. Must be because it was the last card. Got a few, well, I'd say it's not great quality. It's a wee bit bent and some of the edges are cut off, but... Or not cut off, but dented. Could be worse though. Wow, I had a nostalgia trip going through that one. Very nice. Really enjoyed going through that. Just take a wee second just to set this to the side now that we've gone through them. And that was Starter Deck Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter Deck Pegasus. They're good old Relinquished. And I'll wait 2 seconds. was just checking the quality. For some reason I feel the quality looks a bit different on my end, but I'll reevaluate. And here we go, starter deck Joey, which I feel a few people will probably prefer this one over Pegasus, but still featured the legendary Red Eyes, which was also in the Legend of Blue Eyes in the booster set. So let's crack this bad boy open. And this was a set that my brother used when we were in Spain while I used Pegasus. This one is not sealed, but I'm hoping it's in near mint. I imagine it will be. Damn, it's really stuck in here, is it? And here he is, our guy. The Red Eyes Black Dragon, and apart from being a bit bent, he's actually really good condition. Bit of a bend in the top left corner and some scuffs along the edges, but that's nothing new here. Lovely card. It's ultra rare. The alignment with the borders is not great, but still. Nice to get him in first edition. I'm sure if I put him in a top loader, he'll fix himself. Oh, some fusion monsters here. Oh, the iconic Thousand Dragon, Time Wizard, and Baby Dragon. And imagine polymerization is probably sitting in here somewhere. Milus Radiant. It's a flip. No, it's not. It's just a regular effect. As long as this card remains faceable in the field, increase the attack of all earth monsters by 500 points and decrease the attack of all wind by 400. Probably not easy to do. Keep him on. Maybe with stalls such as Swords of Revealing Light could probably do the job for you. Karate Man. Never owned this card. First time seeing it. But I do recognize him at least. Once per turn, the original attack of this card can be doubled when this card's effect is applied. The card is immediately destroyed at the end of the turn. It's a rather unfortunate effect, but maybe it came in handy back then. Dark Fire Soldier 1. I believe he later came out in Pharaoh's Servant, the booster set. An explosive expert from a special elite force. It's not bad for a 4-star. Masaki, the legendary swordsman. Now, I can't remember if it's him or Zanki that gets turned into Armored Zombie in the anime. But Joey definitely played him a few times. Harpy's brother. Now, this card is actually different name completely in OCG. He's not actually a Harpy card, so when the archetype really comes out later on, gets another name. I can't remember what it is on any re-releases. Not a bad card. 4-star. Normal monster. Flame Swordsman, 5-star. Flame Manipulator and Masaki the Legendary Swordsman Fusion. Iconic. Oh damn, he's got some scuffs here in his tech, that's a shame. But still, a lot better quality than one that I have. Not a great fusion monster release, to be fair. Not many fusion monsters were great. But still, iconic monster. Swordsman of Landstar. An amateur with a sword, this fairy warrior relies on its mysterious powers. Penguin Soldier, let's go. Our guy. Flip monster, you can return up to 2 monsters from the field to the owner's hand. We'll get this guy sleeved up. Okay, so Flame Manipulator is in the deck. I would have been surprised if it wasn't. Flame Manipulator. This spellcaster attacks enemies with fire-related spells such as Sea of Flames and Wall of Fire. He's got his own specified attack. It's quite cool. Jam Wizard. Toss a coin and call heads or tails. If you call it right, your opponent's monsters on the field are destroyed. If you call it wrong, your own monsters on the field are destroyed, and you lose life points equal to half the total attack of the destroyed monsters. This card can only be used once per turn during your own turn. I mean, iconic monster, but goodness me, that was such a risky ability to use. Princess of Tsurugi. Also in Metal Raiders, same with Time Wizard, I believe. Flip. Inflict 500 points of direct damage to your opponent's life points for each magic and trap card your opponent has on the field. Mahavelu, I think, is in Spell Ruler or Magic Ruler. In addition to the effect of equipped cards, the attack of this monster is increased by 500 points for each card equipped to this monster. Bad. First time. Island Turtle. A huge turtle that is often mistaken for an island. Armored Lizard. A lizard with a very tough hide and a vicious bite. Cost the max amount star chips and forbidden memories for whatever reason. That is honestly the most distinguishable thing about this card for me. Gearfree, the Iron Knight. Any equipped card this card is equipped with is automatically destroyed. Could be good for sending cards to the graveyard. Or an equipped card has a negative effect. 7 Colored Fish, another beach stick, 1800. A rare rainbow fish that has never been caught by mortal man. The Magician of Faith. Flip monster. Select one magic card from your graveyard and return it to your hand. Pretty solid ability first time. Our guy, our second part of our Thousand Dragon. Baby Dragon. Much more than just a child, this dragon is gifted with untapped power. White Magical Hat. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent's life points, one card must be discarded randomly from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Now, I think the Legend of Blue Eyes has it as a rare. Spirit of the Harp is definitely a rare in Legend of Blue Eyes. A spirit that soothes the soul with the music of its heavenly harp. Big Eye. See the 5 cards from the top of your deck, arrange them in any order designed, and replace them on top of the deck. Okay, that's not great. I guess it's probably fine for like an Exodia deck, I suppose, but... our Searcher, Sangan. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, move one monster with an attack of 1500 or less from your deck to your hand. Your deck is then shuffled. Malevolent Nuzzler. I'm pretty sure this card came out in Starter Deck Yugi Evolution. Yeah, maybe they were finally starting to catch on that reinforcements and castle walls were not great equipped trap cards. A monster equipped with this card increases attack by 700 points. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points to place it to the top. Place it on top of your deck. Scapegoat. Goat format. Quick play magic card. When this card is activated, you cannot summon any monster in the same turn, including flip summon and special summon. Place 4 sheep tokens. Beast type, Earth attribute, 1 star, attack 0, defense 0, in defense position on your side of the field. The tokens cannot be used as a tribute for a tribute summon. This card saved Joey a lot in the anime. Now, does this deck include sheep tokens? I'd be curious. The standard remove trap. the standard Darko. Oh, D-spell again. Block attack in this one instead of stop defense. Like one of your opponent's monsters and shift it to defense position. We've got Fisher. Ooh, giant grenade. Very nice. Returns all magic and trap cards on the field to the respective owner's hands. Pretty good. Here we go, polymerization for fusion monsters. For Flame Swordsman and Thousand Dragon, you needed this to combine its respective monsters. Mountain. Very nice. Increases the attack defense of all dragon, wing beast, and thunder type monsters by 200 points. This was also in starter deck Kaiba Evolution. I like the creativity of the block attack wall. Just a big cross. Simple as design, sometimes that was, you know, more iconic back then. More memorable. Eternal Rest. Destroys all monsters equipped with equip cards. The change of heart that is included in all starter decks. The Reliable Guardian. Quick play. Increase one monster's defense by 700 points during the turn this card is activated. Dragon Treasure. I love the look of this card. Little boy over here holding on to his treasure. A dragon type monster equipped with this card increases attack and defense by 300 points. I think in the games it was like 500 for random enemies and maybe 800 for some of the games. But... Shield and Sword. For one turn, each face-up monster's original attack becomes their original defense and vice versa. Any additions or subtractions to attack and defense due to card effects are applied to the new attack and defense. Monsters summoned after this card's activation are excluded. Diane Kettle the Cure Master, our guy. We've got Monster Reborn. I think these are all going to be the same trap cards. Maybe except for Griffin Wing, which was the last card of Pegasus. Ultimate Offering. Oh, there it is. There's Reinforcements. I'm going to imagine Castle Walls is behind here. Oh, no, it's just desserts. Inflict 500 points of direct damage to your opponent's life points for each monster your opponent has on the field. There's Castle Walls. It's baiting me. Release Trap. All increases and decreases to attack and defense are reversed for the turn in which this card is activated. 7 Tools of the Bandit. Pay 1000 of your life points to negate the activation of the trap card and destroy it. Had it before, but you know, great trap card back in the day. Another trap hole. Very nice. Another Wabuku. I'm going to imagine this next card is going to be a holo, and I don't have a double sleeve for it. No, it's not. It's just a regular fake trap. No, that's great. When your opponent uses a magic trap or effect monster card to destroy your trap cards, this card can be destroyed as a substitute for your trap cards. That's interesting. The games is just a regular attack that triggers this card. So it's just a magic trap or an effect monster that triggers this card. Fair enough. Well, damn, that was nostalgic going through them. I definitely want to play with these decks. And if I can get a hold of Starter Deck, Kaiba, and Yugi, that would be even more exciting. I mean, they're probably trash by today's standards, but still, they're iconic, very simple to use. I mean, just look at these guys. They were cooking with these designs. I especially like Relinquished. Really like that card design. Red Eyes. Here's the funny thing I learned about Red Eyes today was his first release in the OCG. His colors are quite different. It might be because he's in a holo here and for most of the TCG, but in his original release in OCG, his colors on his indents and his arms and his neck are different colors. So I don't know if you can kind of see it, but if you get in the right light, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But yes, thanks guys. Appreciate you know, taking time for this today. Hope you've had a great time, as much as I have, going through these really old cards in great condition as well. I'm going to look forward to sleeving these bad boys up and putting them in my folder. And as always, I will eventually edit the video to have the music played in the description. So no booster packs tonight, or I'm taking a wee break from them. I still haven't decided actually what I'm going to do next week. I've got quite a few things I can go through, but I don't want to, you know, get something that's the same as what we've just done the last 2 weeks. So I'm probably going to skip past the starter decks for now and move on to something else. We've got some very exciting releases coming out from September onwards for Yu-Gi-Oh! Mostly Japanese, but they're going to be really exciting, very hype, and I can't wait to cover them. And hopefully you guys can join me for the ride. I am working on some other Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos more describing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Journey that I've had and the story of the cards that I've collected, but I'm probably going to work on that once, well sorry, work more on it once I've sorted all my cards out into the respective binders. And once they're done, then I will probably get another video out. But yeah, anyway guys, thank you very much for tonight. I really appreciate you having a nice little night on cards with me. Have a good one, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.